on Tuesday, September 10th, the day before September 11th. And in town we have Kamala Harris prepping for the debate. We heard that she arrived in Philadelphia last night, and she's tucked away, locked away. Some people said hold up in a hotel, practicing for the debate and prepping and all that stuff. As far as Donald Trump, I'm not sure where he is. I didn't catch news on that. The debate will be happening tonight at, well, the airing of everything starts at 8, but the actual debate, I believe, begins at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's at the Constitution Center. It's all the way down at 6th and Arch and thereabouts. We are up here at 17th and Walnut, St. James and Locust. And we got a canine in the house. And there's a little bit of a show going on up here. For some reason. We do have the Hyatt Centric on Chancellor and St. James. And then we have the Warwick Hotel over here. And there are a couple more hotels further up north of where I live. And that would be the Sofitel and Palomar. The Warwick is a favorite for airline pilots and airline crews and stuff like that. They often show up here. There's usually a big gigantic flag flying from that post all the way up there. It was taken down a couple of weeks ago, so I don't know what's going on. So anyway, I have a morning dog walk. I walk 2 dogs anywhere between like 10ish and 10:30ish, 9:45, 10, 10:30, so forth and so on. So I figured I'd sort of come out a little bit early to see what was going on. And along here, sorry, it's a Mojave Jeep over there, all rigged up with a special, we have white vans galore down here by Keystone Intelligence. We're very close to Rittenhouse, P.S. and Company. So there's always people getting in on the act, if you will, up here, way west of where the Constitution Center is. Technically, if you figure 17th Street down to 6th or 7th Street, so 10, 11 blocks or so forth and so on. 10 would be 7th, 11 would be 6th. And of course we're down here on Locust, and all the action is anywhere from Chestnut up to Arch and Race. That's where you would see the fencing. So between, let's say, 6, even back to 5 and 4, 5th, 6th, and 7th probably has the most fencing, if I had to guess, because they even have Franklin Square fenced off, which is just outside of Chinatown and behind the Federal Reserve and the U.S. Mint, which I often call the Franklin Mint. So they have Locust Street blocked off, so this is good to know. No traffic down Locust today, which is here by Park Restaurant. And of course the tent and the event are down the street and then make a left, even though technically that street runs south. So this is closed off here. No Locust driving, at least off of 18 and heading east. This is lots of trucks and stuff here at Park Rittenhouse. This has always been a favorite restaurant here. It's run by Steven Starr. That's with 2 R's at the end. Expensive residential building here. Park also. And a little bit quiet. I noticed yesterday there were people who I don't usually see walking around, and that would happen. It's possible that even populations or groups of people walking around could be staged in certain areas, depending on what's going on. This is a biggie. Back in, I guess 2018, I'm saying many years ago, but 2018, they had a protest at the Starbucks at Rittenhouse, and the Starbucks at Rittenhouse is back down there on Spruce and 18. And the entire staff was switched out with a special makeshift staff. I'm saying makeshift, that's a little bit, it's more like they have a very specific staff to come in when there are big events where there needs to be more control in place and not your regular employees. I walked in, they were having a protest about patronizing Starbucks and someone getting arrested because he was there and he wanted to use the bathroom. There are a whole bunch of things going on. So there was a major flashback to that, if you will. And they had the Brotherhood and everything else coming out for a special press conference and so forth and so on. And I walked into the Starbucks and I didn't see one single employee who normally worked there at the time. In fact, most of the employees were older. They would appear to be, quote unquote, more professional, meaning they wouldn't be normal employees at Starbucks. They would just be older, and I was shocked to see that. I couldn't believe it. So one of the rules or new situations to come out of that particular protest and that backlash was for the bathrooms to never have combinations any longer. It would be, in the past you had to patronize Starbucks in order to use the restrooms. But the new law to come out of that, or the new thing, awareness, was to allow people to use the restroom, like homeless people and so forth and so on, without having to pay for anything. So I don't know if the rules stuck because the pandemic interfered. Anyway, things sort of could have migrated back to the old, but I think the rule still stands. You can use the restrooms in Starbucks without patronizing or buying anything. And that was a new sensitivity issue that was implemented in the guidelines of Starbucks. It was interesting because I just couldn't believe, that not one single regular employee was on staff that day. Totally orchestrated staff from God knows where.